Hi, I'm Vijay Nair. I work for Only Much Louder, which is an artist management company, and we produce festivals and we run a very large content division as well. I'm fairly optimistic, and I do see people paying for content in the near future. I think once everybody kind of is on the same page and we start charging people for it, I think especially the young people right now, they will pay for quality content. I say that from experience of live concerts, where from going to concerts for free to paying 3,000 to 4,000 rupees for a weekend, you have to just do it, and people are ready to kind of do that. Second, I think I am pretty optimistic about, be it across content or the media business in general, that I think regulation is going to get a bit easier on that front to do business. I see that happening in the last 2-3 years, where it's not as hard to kind of from starting up to really expanding into multiple cities. And I'm hoping that this will also result into a lot of Indian companies kind of really setting up internationally as well. Because right now you're kind of bogged down by just trying to run a business in India. I think once that becomes easier, you can think about expanding and doing a lot more things.
What are the two regulatory changes that you might like, that you would want to see?
The two ones, I think, for clear, I think across the board, no matter what industry, which sector within the media or something, a one-window license is absolutely imperative. Because this is one industry where you can easily do that, and in fact, it can just all be completely online. The second thing is there needs to be a dramatic relaxation of censorship laws in this country and all the regulation that comes along with that. Because it will never work. You can't, the age of censoring is gone, especially when you have internet, everything else, it's not going to work. Second is going to throttle creators in that sense. And in a democracy, you need that kind of free speech always kind of prevailing. So I think censorship guys need to kind of really take a step back and chill out a bit.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate, free speech in India?
It's well under 5 right now for sure. I think it's not that there is, you can say eventually there is free speech is palatable in larger sense, but what's happened is there is a sense of fear to kind of redo it. Either it's hyped up, or in some cases there's always fringe elements kind of against it. But I think the government should ideally kind of take a position not based on how people are going to kind of react or whatever, but they should possibly just do the right thing, keeping in mind the larger interests. So I think it can definitely potential to go over 5.
You spoke about people paying for content. India has typically been a market, at least as far, if you look back at what has happened with broadcast and with a lot of other mediums, it's a market where people are used to free content. Do you see that changing substantially in the coming years?
Absolutely. I think 2 reasons it will happen. A, the quality of content is getting better. I mean, if you look at the online space, and if you just look at what TVF and AIB are doing, they're probably doing better content than most television networks. And these guys are just doing it based out of 2-3 room kind of apartments in Adarsh Nagar or wherever, right? So I think people are kind of really building great content. When you build something of quality, people in this country will pay. 2 examples for this is I think how people started paying 400 rupees to go and watch a movie on a weekend, because it's a PVR and there's a much better ambience. So from 40 to 50 rupees for a ticket, to even sometimes 700-800 rupees for a weekend now, but people are happy to pay. And second, in the live entertainment space, we've completely seen that when the quality of concerts became better, people don't think twice about kind of paying a lot more for it. So as the quality increases, I think people will not be afraid of, not be shy of paying.
So that's largely for premium content. Do you see that happening with the content for masses as well?
Yes, I think I want to go back to the first point I made. Just because it's mass, it doesn't mean you can make bad quality content. That is the problem with content in India in general. You think this is what log ye dekhte, so make this for them. I think even at any class or any section that you kind of look at, people yearn for good content. Once that starts happening, then you can think about charging them. Otherwise, they're not going to pay for things that's largely rubbish in that sense. So be it mass or be it premium, I think people think the same way. And that's what kind of really happened with music and iTunes and all the subscription services. Now a lot of them have 30, 40, 50 million subscribers, because obviously the masses are involved as well, because there is convenience and there is quality. Right now, we don't have quality or convenience in the Indian industry largely. So I think expecting them to pay is a bit unfair.
This year's theme for Ficci Frames is change or perish. Yeah. What do you think will perish?
I think the entire old media is going to perish. I think it's a matter of when, not if. I think 10 years from now, the biggest media companies are probably going to be companies who don't exist right now. So what's kind of happened in the retail space, or what's going to happen in the automobile space or wherever else, the media is going to be the same thing, because the barriers are being broken at a speed where I don't think the old world can kind of really catch up with it. The arrogance of old business, of throttling creators, of trying to own all the rights, everything else, I think once that gets kind of demolished, there is a new world of media that's waiting out there.
At a personal level, what would that mean for you?
At a personal level, I think we'd love to kind of stand on the grave and dance. But I think personal level, I'll be more than thrilled about it, because I think there is going to be a lot more creativity and a lot more good quality work out there in a few years' time than it ever was. There will not be people in suits sitting and telling artists and creators that this is what works, this is what you should be making. Everybody is going to find their own audience. No matter how niche a content you're doing or as abstract your content could be, you will still find a particular section of an audience. So at a personal level, I think it'll be good to kind of see, 5 years from now, there's a 21-year-old who's just hungrier and thirstier than we are and kind of coming and overriding our company. I think nothing will make me happier than that.